Okay, today we're going to learn about non-renewable energy. We're going to learn about the two main types of non-renewable energy. We're going to see how they work, and then we're going to learn about the advantages and the disadvantages. Okay, so first of all, it's important we understand what is meant by non-renewable energy. A non-renewable energy source is one that is not being replenished as it's being used. So eventually it will run out when all the reserves have been used up. We can't use it again and again. So the first type we're going to learn about are fossil fuels. Now fossil fuels, there are three main types of fossil fuel we need to know. They are coal, oil and natural gas. Now all of these different types of fossil fuels take millions of years to form underneath the ground, and they need to be extracted from the ground through mining in order to get hold of these resources. Now what we're going to look at is just how one of them, we're going to use coal as an example, and how we can actually generate electricity from coal. So the first thing you do is you need to dig up the coal, and then it's crushed into dust. So then the coal is burnt, releasing lots and lots of energy. That energy can then be used to do the following thing. It could be used to heat up lots of water, which is in a massive boiler. Now, when the water gets hot enough, it turns to steam and it rises. And it's forced under high pressure. It turns this structure here, called a turbine. A little bit like the wind turbines you often find in fields that also generate electricity. So this part here is the boiler. Now the turbine is connected to a structure called a generator. And within the generator, this is where the electricity is generated, is made. There's another video to show this process in more detail of exactly how electricity is created or generated within the generator, okay? So it's kind of similar for oil or natural gas. Again, it's just burning one of them to make water turn to steam, to turn a turbine, to power a generator, okay? Now, the advantages of fossil fuels is, first of all, they're really reliable. They're a reliable source currently to produce a lot of electricity, to give electricity for everyone across the nation. The other good thing about them is they can be used to meet energy demand. So if there's a sudden demand for more energy, we can just burn more of the fossil fuels in order to produce more energy. They're also, compared to lots of other types of energy generation, they're comparatively cheap to build and to run. So those are the benefits of fossil fuels. Now, there are lots and lots of disadvantages of fossil fuels as well, because when you burn the fossil fuels, you're releasing lots of harmful gases. One is carbon dioxide that can lead to global warming. There's another video that talks more about this particular pollutant, as well as this pollutant, not carbon dioxide, but sulfur dioxide, which can cause acid rain. Again, there's another video that talks about these effects in much more detail. Also, if you're using oil, there could be oil spillages, which can be extremely detrimental to animals, such as birds, who can be completely covered with the oil and can lead to the deaths of lots and lots of wildlife. And the other big negative thing about fossil fuels is they will one day run out because they are non-renewable. They cannot be replenished as we go. So that's basically an overview of fossil fuels. Now the other type of non-renewable energy source is nuclear power. So instead of using fossil fuels, we have these different fuels called uranium or plutonium. Again, they're non-renewable because once you've used them, they're gone. We can't replenish them. So the way that these work is basically we have large unstable nuclei, and when we fire neutrons at them, it causes the nuclei to split into smaller daughter nuclei. And also, it releases lots and lots of energy. So this energy released from splitting these uranium or plutonium nuclei can then be used in a very similar way to fossil fuels to heat up water in a boiler, to then turn a turbine, to generate electricity in a generator. So what are the advantages of nuclear power? Now, compared to fossil fuels, they really produce low levels of CO2 because unlike burning the fossil fuels, splitting these atoms, these nuclei, does not release lots of carbon dioxide. Also, they can produce a large amount of electricity. So a relatively small mass of these substances, uranium and plutonium, releases a lot of energy. Now, the really negative sides about nuclear power is, first of all, it's extremely expensive to build a nuclear power plant and to decommission one after it's been built. But probably the biggest problem with nuclear energy is it produces nuclear waste. Now, nuclear waste is extremely harmful to people and it stays dangerous for thousands of years. So a big problem is thinking what to actually do with this nuclear waste once it's been created. So that, guys, is basically an overview of non-renewable energy. Thank you.